very warm good evening to everyone present here. Today, I, Bhavna Sharma, journalist at Fairgate, and welcome you all to this free teaser session of the 6th Annual Conference on Futuristic Trends in Education by CET India and Global Talk Education Foundation. Let's welcome everyone with a huge round of applause. You can do it virtually.
Yes.
So let's get started. So, I would like Dr. Priyadarshini Nayak, Chairman CED Foundation, to throw some light on the theme of the conference.
That's great. Thank you, Bhavna. I think it's honor and privilege to take up this particular topic, futuristic trends in education. All of us know the National Education Policy has been implemented, or you can say been launched by the ministry. The basic focus of this particular conference, this is the annual conference of Center for Education Development Foundation. The main area where we are going to discuss is the professional development. There are a lot of areas where futuristic trends of education can be discussed, and a lot of speakers will be discussing on. But focusing on basic criteria, this is related to the professional development of teacher we have planned up. The investment made in the field of education over the years is hugely contribute to the India's growth in the knowledge economy. Therefore, there are different ways to enhance the professional skills in the staff, which may be through workshops, seminars, or online courses or conferences happening. So CED, or Center for Education Development Foundation, and Global Talk Education Foundation has conducted or has planned this particular conference in keeping in focus that professional development courses to be taken care of, and school educators need to be empowered to have a better quality education in schools. For this purpose, this conference has been planned.
Well said, sir. Well, thank you so much for sharing your valuable words. I would request others to please mute yourselves because some noise is coming when sir was speaking. Yeah, thank you. So now coming to our chief guest first, so Dr. Abdullah Rashid Ahmed, who is Minister of State, Ministry of Education, Maldives. Sir, I would like you to comment on futuristic trends in education that the world will start witnessing now on.
First of all, thank you, CED, especially Dr. Nayak and everyone who is organizing this conference to invite me and giving me the honor to be the chief guest of this important conference. Especially the theme futuristic trends in education is really important because we are preparing our students for future. We are not preparing our students for now or the past. The world is going ahead and everything is changing. Therefore, in a changing world, really this theme is important for every educators, not only for the teachers or school leaders. This is important for everyone involved in education system, including curriculum developers, curriculum designers, teachers, school leaders, parents, everyone. We all need to have a futuristic perspective. Then we can prepare our students for the future. This is an excellent theme taken by CED for this important conference. Thank you.
True, well said, sir. Thank you so much. So now moving ahead, I would like to invite Dr. A.K. Sharma, former Assistant Commissioner, KVS, to tell us that as we move to the online mode of teaching, we witnessed that in the pandemic. Then how a teacher will know the student understood the whole concept or not? Sir, you need to unmute yourself first.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You want to know how teachers have modified themselves?
Yes. Like if they are moving to the online mode of teaching, then when previously we were having offline classes, we were able to have that connection, we were able to see our students. But now in online mode, when we are not able to see, how we will understand that the student is understanding or not? And we are moving to that direction only.
Okay, it's a very interesting question. And the problem is that there was no problem because when this offline to online was there, mainly teachers were not ready for this. So they have learned how to use online system. And this switching over from offline to online took some time in transition, but now in due course of time, our teachers are well trained on this. And actually, the question comes of technology, that we are totally immersed in the technology today. And technology is not only changing our economy, not only changing our transformation, but if you see that our students are also highly volatile. So what is there that when the teachers are shifting to the online mode, at that time there were some behavioral problems were also there from the students. But slowly and slowly, the teachers have accustomed of online mode of learning, and I think that now our teachers are well versed and they are doing their job well, because if you see that now the classroom has gone to the houses. The teachers are teaching from their houses, and the children are also their houses. The basically classrooms were there to accommodate 30-40 students, but now the classroom, the definition of the classroom is changed.
True.
And now the teachers have to prepare themselves in a variety of ways, not only in the content but also the presentation, how to present, and also how to use technology in a wiser way. We teachers are teaching to the learners who are 21st century learners, who are much more advanced in technology than that of teachers. Now, it is the teacher who has to learn technology, and it is actually the vice versa. Now, the technology teachers are learning from some time from the students, and the students are learning content from the teachers. So, it is a very enjoying experience as far as teachers are concerned, and the whatever classrooms we are having now, in fact they are not having any walls, anything is not there. Now we are talking about the social media, iPods, computers, simulations, all these things we are telling, and we are also telling about the gamification. Our teachers are also talking about the gamification. Just think about 10 months back, there was smart classrooms over there. Smart boards were there, but teachers were not using frequently. But now, teachers are using those smart boards. And not only this, they are also using MOOCs. These are the courses by the government of India. They are using this. They are using Khan Academy. They are using Udemy. They are using government of India courses. So many facets are there in our teaching, and teachers are updating themselves continuously. So it is a very good collaboration is also there. Sometimes they are also learning from the others. Like in the webinars, we are collaborating with the teachers of the other countries. So it is now the teaching is going to be global than that of local. So it is a wonderful change that has taken place in the teachers, and now the teachers are more global than that earlier they were.
True. Well said, sir. We truly agree that now teaching is global. It's not about restricting to the local. So now moving further, we have Dr. P. Ravi, former Regional Director, NIOS. So sir, I would like to request you to tell us about that, what social media should do in education.
Okay. At the outset, I compliment CED for connecting us in this virtual platform, sharing wonderful ideas on how we can contribute for this education. And you are now touched upon, Bhavanaji, about the social media. See, earlier we were looking at the social media as a kind of enemy, because even we are afraid of even handing over the smartphone to the children. But today the condition has come such a way that the children have to go to or sit with either in the home or into the school, that they should be with the smartphone. So this the paradigm shift in this complete approach of merging with the technology, it's inevitable now. Now the social people are exposed to the various social media, but many social media content are also become very, very useful contents. They are all being shared. For example, now we come across the globe, whatever the good events are coming, the best way is now just to communicate through the social media. Every day I get an alert either in Facebook or in Twitter or in the WhatsApp. We get an alert. So we have earlier we were thinking that these are all the nuisance, and we were actually avoiding the people. No doubt, but now we get a lot of good things are now coming to it. In fact, I find nowadays even the younger generations, there is a shift in their learning process. They keep looking for them because these all the contents are available in online, and the media of propagating is only through the social media. Anything posted, nowadays we have now subscribed to certain channels and all this, certain group where we are eagerly waiting for some announcement. So one is the case with the same with this CED Foundation. Many teachers are next, sir, when is the next program, sir? They were telling, but for the social media, I don't think that we would have reached all the people. So now that concept of social media has now changed. As Dr. Sharma was telling that now, the concept of classroom has changed. The pedagogy has changed. We are actually heading, rather this pandemic has given us a chance to go much faster into this futuristic trend in the education. We are now fully prepared. Students are prepared, teachers are prepared. In fact, we should say this concept, actually this narrowed down this gap between the student and the teacher. There was a big gap, but it's got now narrowed, and this social media is playing a very, very important role in bridging that. So I should look at that as a social media as a tool. It's only a question of how we steer that in a right direction. If the population is now moving towards the learning process and interested in knowing many things, what is happening across the globe, so I don't think that we can stay away from that. Definitely, it is contributing much for the learning process. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your valuable words. Now, moving ahead, we have Dr. Kunal Anand, who is the coordinator at CED. Sir, I would like to tell us about that, when we are talking about online education, now there is something known as health also, which is very crucial. For our health only, we started living at our homes. Now, but because of online studies and all the time we are having this sedentary lifestyle, do you think students will be able to maintain a good and a sound health?
Thank you, Bhavna, and thank you, CED, once again for giving me this opportunity to be among the elitist educationists of around India and the globe. And thank you that I am in company with Dr. Abdullah. I'm very grateful. Well, coming to your question, Bhavana, about the mental health of the students, as very rightly said by Sharma sir and Ravi sir also, that the way technology has changed, rather the way schooling has changed. The one at one point of time, which was a no from our side, like don't use mobile phones, don't download various applications, don't sit on the laptops for a longer time. And now the buzzword is your online class is about to begin, log in on time, you have to be on the screen for 6 hours. So definitely, as rightly said by Sharma sir and Ravi sir, there's a paradigm shift in education in the past 9 months, 10 months. But at the same time, when we talk about health, I'm sure like me and many other educators across India and the globe, they are taking care of that thing by the way of counseling children from time to time, by that way taking parental sessions, because when the children are not physically available with us, we have to ensure that they are available with their parents, and the parents are taking care of their physical and mental health. And in that, I'm sure a lot of us have been successful while conducting a lot of workshops for parents, telling them what is the need of the hour, how to motivate the children at home, how to make them physically fit at home. And I think this way, the way these things are moving, it has even changed a lot, because I see when it was a yoga day this year, there was much more participation online than which we have normally at the physical grounds. Even any function for that instance, like the Fit India Week, every school virtually celebrated Fit India Week. So this is a clear indication that the mental health has been taken care of by the schools, by the parents and students themselves. So a little physical exercise, a little motivation and continuous interaction That is the keywords to be used right now so that we can have our children having a good mental as well as physical health. That's my take on this.
True, well said, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your words. Now, we recently Professor C.B. Sharma has also joined us. So, I welcome you, sir.
Thank you. My privilege. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Professor C.B. Sharma is former chairman NIOS, Government of India. So, sir, we discussed a lot many things about what will be the futuristic trends in education, and this is a teaser to the main conference. So now, as you have joined us just right now, so we will ask you the question directly. That what do you think? What will be the learning will look like in next 20 years?
I believe pandemic has impacted education in a big way, and we can expect the format of education to be very, very different in coming times. Online education, at least for school education, was absolutely no. But after pandemic, I believe blended mode would be the default format. We are going to see a lot of use of technology in school education. We had been doing this in higher education, but it will increase in school education. What we have been talking about is digital divide. The digital divide was only meant that some will have good machines, some will have access to ICT augmented education, but in coming times, I believe that digital divide would also mean good content, bad content, poor content.
Yes.
What we are going to see is that the best teachers would be available on the best platforms, the expensive platforms, to the richest students. The poor students will have access to poor quality teachers.
Yes.
The best teachers would be earning massively. They will be expensive to be approached, but the less qualified, the poor teachers, I shouldn't be calling poor teachers. A poor teacher should not be a teacher, but still, because there would be some who would not be so good, but they would be teaching, and some children will have access only to them. So digital divide in terms of not only machines, but also good teachers and poor quality teachers. Also, there would be no requirement of eligibility or degrees anymore. Anybody who can teach well, whether one has degrees or not, will be teaching in the education market. Plus, we all should be aware that we have signed the GATS agreement, General Agreement on Trade and Services, and education has been accepted as one of the services. Teachers from across the globe, cross-border education will prosper. So best Indian teachers will be teaching to students global, and teachers from abroad will be teaching to students in India. Some teachers from India will be making a lot of money by teaching to students abroad, but don't forget that a lot of children from India would be learning from teachers abroad who would be pumping out money from the country. We have to be very, very careful that we are going to face a very different education world. The whole dynamics of education is going to change.
Yes.
Plus, content will be an issue. What we have been talking about in terms of the national curriculum framework, the textbooks will change. The content that Macaulay wanted to teach in India and what we have been trying to wash away, perhaps may become the default. Because if the students prefer IB certificate, then what would they be studying? Are we ready for it? I believe pandemic has raised a number of questions and we have to be ready with it.
Yes, agreed. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your views with us. So, moving ahead, because just now sir mentioned about digital divide, now I would like to ask Dr. Abdullah that what is his take on the solutions that can be seen for digital divide, because now we are moving ahead with so many trends that will come for the futuristic education, and one thing that comes as a problem is digital divide. What do you have to say on that?
I'm sorry, once again, could you please repeat your question?
Yeah. Sir just mentioned about digital divide, and as we are going to have futuristic trends in education, so one problem that will come surely is digital divide. Then what solutions you think that can be implemented for this?
Actually, inclusive education is very important, and equality and equity is also very important. In that case, whether we are using digital, online, or physical, it's the responsibility of educators, it's the responsibility of the nations to ensure that quality, equal education should be provided to all the students of a country. As some of my I can say senior educational experts has mentioned, whether we like or not, education has been transformed, especially because of this pandemic. Everybody realized that importance of digital and online education. We are living in a global world. Because of the pandemic, that became more globalized. As just now Professor C.B. Sharma has mentioned that teachers from across the globe, they are teaching the students around any country. So there is no border. There is no border. It's borderless. So in that case, it's the responsibility of the leaders. So that's what I can say. We have to ensure that to maintain equity and equality and promoting inclusive education through digital or through physical. So, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So I would like to invite Dr. A.K. Sharma to add on digital divide and what just Dr. Abdullah said. Sir, you are mute.
Thanks to Dr. Abdullah, he has used the word this equity and equality. Yes, it is the government duty to provide the inclusive education to all. But again, if you see, it is the duty, but if you see the global scenario, not only in Indian scenario, in global scenario, there is a huge percentage of the children who are not having these computer devices, or even you can say that mobile, so that they are left out. I was reading an article, and in that I have read that 70% of the children are not having access to this online mode of education. So as a result of that, they are not in the mainstream of education. So whatever changes are there, we are changing from offline to online. It is not for all the learners. There are a sizable strength of the learners are there who are left, and they are waiting to come in the mainstream. So at present, this digital divide is of immense importance. Of course, I have seen many NGO are working on it. They are providing some laptops, and in some cases I have seen they are providing mobiles. Also, I have seen some alumni association of the schools are also providing this these sort of gadgets to the children, and the Rotary clubs, Interact clubs, there are many who are providing it. But again, the question comes that in a country where we have the school, which is a single teacher school, and a school which is doing the online education, there is this sharp divide. And as Professor Sharma has said, that he has said about the paradigm shift in the case of this resource crunch will be there as far as teachers are there. They are very good teachers, will not be there available for the poor. The similar cases, it is starting now. It has started that in those teachers, village teachers, and there is a lot of difference in the village teachers and those teachers who are teaching in the metro. So something is to be done by the leaders to fill up this digital divide. We have to come forward. We have to mobilize our resources so that our children who are less privileged should get the benefit of this. And we can also use our children, our elder children, our children who are reading in the higher classes, that they can help them with their devices, and whatever left out devices are there, they can use it. And also we have to request the electronic companies to come forward, especially those who are making these laptops, or those who are making these tablets, or those who are making mobiles. They should make certain cheap sets for the students so that they can use it conveniently. So digital divide is it's a matter of concern really, and we have to take it seriously, because it is not only the question of our country, it is the global concern. And the UN Committee on this education has already pointed out on this, because he has pointed out if you go through the UN Sustainable Goals, the one of the agenda is quality education. And in that report, I have seen the few lines of that report in which they have mentioned that so many children in the developing countries and the poor countries are left out, and they are still waiting to come into the mainstream. So let us hope that something will be done by the leaders.
Sir, thank you so much, sir. Now moving to Dr. P. Ravi, just now, because sir mentioned about the differences in the countries, the difference that urban and rural students will face. So I would like to know that how India is going to cope with this, because if I talk about technology like 5G, we are still 2 years behind a nation like our neighboring nation China, where 5G is already implemented. Now, how our students and how as a nation we are going to compete globally?
Yeah, definitely. I think everyone will agree that it's a country with a lot of diversity, in not only in terms of our cultural heritage and anything, even in the the resources and the affordability also. So at the same time, I am sure that all of you are aware that government is making all the effort to reach and every corner of the country. We should introduce the technology. It's not straight away jumping to the 5G, but even now people are with the 2G also, they are working. There are so many, for example, now we have exclusive educational channels are there. I think Professor Sharma sir will agree that 5 channels are that introduced in National Institute of Open Schooling. It was widely used by all the people. And so we need to think about various opportunities or the options available. It's not that only we have to travel through the, there are national highways people are using. There are both Kacha Road also is available in a very remote area. There also people are taking a journey and then progressing. So let us look this way, that this imbalance will be there. But today the technology is so nicely developing. You name anything, you are able to come out with the solution now. Today in this, we never thought just 10 months before that this will be the status of education. We never thought that the teachers who are all almost on the verge of retirement also will touch the smartphone or the laptop and will teach them. We never expected. So same is the case here also. Let us be very, very positive, but of course we cannot deny there is a divide, digital divide. Absolutely it is there, but we also have a capacity now. And definitely we can do it. And I think you can, understand now that India is now becoming the great power. Today we are starting, supplying the COVID vaccine to all the countries. Even though we need huge number, but we start giving. So our Prime Minister is very, very conscious about this. We must take care of the complete nation, not only ourselves and even neighboring and across the world. So I think that trend has now come. Earlier, people were competing themselves to who is superior and all that. Today, India is giving a message that let us all live together. Let us all share the resources. That message is very, very fast, when I'm sure, including the countries who are all, trying to be a dominant countries, will have to rethink and technology will start pouring in. I don't think that we'll face any problem. It's only a matter of time. Thank you.
Agree. Well said, sir. So before we wind up, I would like to ask for Professor C.V. Sharma that what do you think on this and what is your approach for it?
I believe education is a large sector and we have not really very well managed, not only in India, but similar countries. Government has taken over control of education too much. We don't have a regulatory body for school education. All the attention in these countries have been put on higher education. School education, especially education of the less privileged, should be the priority. And appropriate technology is the answer. When we talk of technology, we quickly shift to only 5G or the Android phones. But don't forget, radio has as much potential of reaching out content to learners as 5G has. So I believe appropriate technology has to be used for different sector of learners as well as disciplines, and blended education will be the answer in the future. Not only that, we have to share resources. As Dr. Ravi has already mentioned, and it's very, very, very pertinent, India has a large number of Bengali speakers. We create content in Bengali. Why not share with Bangladesh? India has a large number of people who speak Nepali. Why not share that content with Nepal? We must share educational resource globally. We cannot be developing content only for our own country. I believe with technology, it has become handy to share content, to become one, and to disseminate knowledge globally through the most appropriate technology that is available to the target group, that is the learners, and to the providers. We have to look afresh. We have to have partners. It has to be PPP model. Public-private partnership is the answer. No more public and private education. It has to be PPP.
Agreed. Well said, sir. So before we wind up, I would like to invite Dr. Priyadarshi Nayak to please address everyone and enlighten us with his words.
I'm so delighted to have all the prominent educationists of the country, and the Center for Education Development Foundation is specifically so honored to have all these dignitaries with us. Dear Professor C.V. Sharma sir and rest all the educationists, those who are with us, mainly I would like to focus that this foundation is there to provide quality teacher education programs. It is said that teachers affect eternity. Nobody can tell where the influence will stop. However, our new education policy which has come up states that no nation can rise above the level of its teachers. Therefore, I believe strongly, or the foundation believes strongly, with the help of all the dignitaries, all the board members, those who are here today, we need quality teacher education programs to produce teachers of high quality. This is the utmost importance for this nation now. There have been tremendous advances in science and technology, and so in information nowadays, as we are all discussing about communication technology or ICT, is very, very important. So all these developments have been brought up by substantial changes in the methods of materials of teaching and learning, which has been done by our fellow teachers. So purpose of teacher education, providing quality teacher education programs is the fundamental work of this particular foundation. Center for Education Development Foundation, Global Talk Education Foundation specifically work to bring up the professionals, or you can say we are bringing up to make them fully equipped with high academic standards, pedagogical skills, ethic, or you can say ethical and moral values. These all have been focused in our regular trainings, workshops, conferences. So this conference also, the 6th conference, which is on futuristic trends in education, which is on day after tomorrow, the big conference from almost 28 states, representative of CED Foundation, they are representing here. The challenges faced by the teacher education institution, challenges faced with teacher education will be discussed on that forum, and I'll be more privileged to have you on that day. Wholeheartedly, I welcome everyone to attend the annual conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone, for making your benign presence here, and all the very best to all of you for the main day of the annual conference. Let's hope to create a new holistic and safe environment for all students. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Namaskar.
Thank you, Sarma sir. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so
All of
much.
Thank you.
My
My
greetings.
privilege.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you.